There's a pattern in medical case reports that surprised me the first time I came across it. A woman in her 70s, type O positive blood, had been told for 2 decades that her blood type was practically a gift. Lowest heart attack risk of any blood type, statistically speaking. She had done everything right. Low cholesterol, normal blood pressure, no family history. And yet she ended up hospitalized recovering from a stroke. Not the kind caused by a clot, the other kind. A bleeding stroke inside her own brain. I want you to sit with that for a second. Because it confused me too, the first time I researched this pattern. She wasn't unlucky, she wasn't an exception. What happened to her was hiding inside her blood type this entire time. It is documented in the research, and almost nobody had ever explained it to her. Today, I'm going to walk you through a genetic trait tied to blood type that most people have never heard of, one that can completely flip the story you've always been told about which blood type is safest. If you are type O or you love someone who is, do not click away from this video, because what I'm about to explain could change how you and your doctor handle something you're probably already taking. Let's start with, because it's not wrong, it's just incomplete. Research has shown that people with type O blood do tend to have a lower risk of the clot-related heart attacks and cardiovascular disease. For years, this got summarized in doctors' offices and medical articles the same simple way. Type O, lower risk, nothing more to think about. But here's the piece almost nobody explains. The reason type O blood clots less easily isn't some abstract statistical quirk. It comes down to an actual protein in your blood called von Willebrand factor. This protein is essential for clotting. It helps platelets stick together and stop bleeding when you're injured. And people with type O blood have lower levels of it than every other blood type, sometimes 25% lower or more. Now think about what that actually means in practical terms. Less clotting protein means your blood does a worse job stopping bleeding. That's the flip side nobody mentions when they call type O the lucky blood type. Lower clotting risk on one side of the coin, higher bleeding risk on the other side of the exact same coin. This is exactly the mechanism researchers believe was at play in that case. She had been placed on a daily low-dose aspirin years earlier, a completely standard, reasonable recommendation for someone her age with her cardiac risk profile. But combined with naturally lower clotting protein from being type O, her blood was likely thinner than a standard risk calculation would account for. A small blood vessel in her brain, weakened slightly by age, gave way. And because her blood couldn't clot efficiently enough to seal it quickly, what should have been a minor bleed became a major one. I want to pause here and say something important, because I don't want anyone turning off what I just said. Please don't do that.
Aspirin and blood thinners save far more lives than they put at risk, and stopping a prescribed medication on your own can be just as dangerous as the risk we're discussing. What I am telling you is not stop your medication. What I am telling you is have a more informed conversation with your doctor, one that accounts for something your standard blood work almost never highlights. So here is exactly what I want you to do if you are type O, or you're not certain what your blood type is. First, find out your blood type if you don't already know it. It's often listed in old medical records, blood donation cards, or you can simply ask your doctor to check it at your next visit. This single piece of information takes 30 seconds to find and could genuinely matter for the rest of your life. Second, if you are type O and you take aspirin, a blood thinner, or any anticoagulant medication, mention this specific detail to your doctor. Ask directly, given that type O blood carries lower clotting factor levels, is my current dose still the right one for me? This is not a question most doctors are prompted to consider unless the patient brings it up first. Third, know the warning signs of a bleeding stroke, because they look different from the clot-related stroke most people are trained to watch for. A sudden, unusually severe headache unlike any you've had before. Sudden confusion or difficulty speaking. Sudden weakness, numbness, or loss of coordination on one side of the body. Sudden vision changes. These symptoms overlap with clot-related strokes, which is exactly why time matters so much. If you or someone near you experiences these signs, call emergency services immediately. Do not wait to see if it passes. Fourth, and this one surprised me when I first learned it. If you are ever facing a surgery, even a routine, minor one, make sure your surgical team knows your blood type in advance, and specifically that you are type O if that applies to you. Surgeons plan for expected blood loss during a procedure, and knowing that a patient's natural clotting capacity is already lower helps the entire team prepare more carefully, have appropriate blood products ready, and monitor more closely afterward. I also want to mention something else that came up when I started digging deeper into this research. It isn't only about medication. Type O blood carries a slightly different bleeding response even during everyday situations most of us never think twice about. Dental procedures, for instance. A simple tooth extraction that would stop bleeding within minutes for most people can sometimes take noticeably longer for someone with type O blood, especially if they're also on aspirin or a blood thinner. It's a common enough experience that plenty of people have mentioned their dentist seeming surprised at how long a small procedure took to stop bleeding, without ever connecting it back to blood type. If this has happened to you or someone you know, and it's always been dismissed as just how your body is, there may be a real, identifiable reason behind it. There's another layer to this that I think is worth mentioning, even though it takes us slightly outside the heart itself. Some research has also linked type O blood to a modestly higher risk of certain bleeding-related complications after physical trauma, falls being the most relevant example for anyone over 60. A fall that results in a bruise for one person might result in something more serious for someone with lower baseline clotting capacity. This is exactly why, if you're type O and you take a blood thinner, being extra cautious about fall prevention around the house, better lighting, secure railings, clearing loose rugs, isn't just general advice everyone gets. For you specifically, it carries a bit more weight than the standard recommendation implies. I think about that case often. She recovered, slowly, and cases like hers are part of why researchers started looking more closely at this pattern in the first place. The way it's often put is something close to this: a lifetime of believing your blood type was protecting you, without anyone ever mentioning it was also something to watch. That's the entire reason I wanted to make this video. Your blood type is not something you chose, and it's not something you can change. But it is something you can know, and knowing it changes the questions you ask, the conversations you have, and how closely you and your doctor watch for the specific risks that come with it. This isn't about fear. It's about having the full picture instead of only half of it. Now I want to hear from you. Do you know your blood type? If you're type O and you're on aspirin or a blood thinner, has your doctor ever discussed this specific risk with you? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, and your answer might be exactly what prompts someone else watching to finally ask their own doctor this question. If this video taught you something you didn't know about your own blood, please share it with a family member, especially anyone you know who is type O and takes a daily aspirin or blood thinner. That one conversation, and 30 seconds of knowing your blood type, could matter far more than either of you realize. And if you found this helpful, consider subscribing. Every week, I go through information exactly like this, the details that get lost between a 15-minute appointment and a lifetime of decisions about your own health. If there's a specific blood type question or a family history you're curious about, tell me in the comments, and I'll consider it for a future video.